Hello my friends, welcome back to my channel. Today we are revisiting Storybook Vale in the Everafter, decorating with the new Lavish Lilac Cottage. I paired this with Merida's home, of course, and together in the Everafter, we have made a magical floral countryside home. I'm in love with this cottage, and I think all of the details just make it so comforting and give it a lot of character, including the beautiful wisteria which make it fit into the purples of the Everafter. If you need inspiration for this house or even ideas for this week's Dream Snap, then keep on watching. All of my Everafter biomes are filled except for one, so today we are focusing on the left side of the Beanstalk Marshes. I already have the two homes placed and the cottage is in a bit of an angle with plenty of space behind it. Now this may be a little controversial, but I'm starting with the cypress tree clusters from Mythopia, and yes, there is a jarring orange color of the base, but that gets neatly covered and becomes hardly noticeable later. Paired with that are some of the small oak trees, which are the name of the trees themselves because they are anything but small, placing a few down for some of that deep green color. I also add this tree throughout the build, and it isn't under trees, but it is an item from the Wishful Thinking Star Path, which is called a baddie tree. However, the one that I placed behind the cluster will not be there for long. I mix in a couple normal sized cypress trees as well to blend it with the taller ones in the back. We will also use variations of the flowering ancient tree from Eternity Isle, framing the area on both sides with the larger ones and one in the back, and then also just a smaller one to fill in the space behind there. Probably the only difficult part of this build is pathing. I am making a winding road starting from the cottage, and I actually created a little roundabout first so that I can place my Corona fountain there. This is a process that I actually have a tutorial for on my channel, but for the summarized version of what I'm doing, I first make rectangles about 3 spaces thick and just outline the direction of where I'm headed before creating little steps upwards like a staircase to create the curves. At the very end, I will change the shape for all of them so that we can get rid of those jagged lines and make it look a little more curvy. Whenever I'm doing this, I'm not considering the other decorations I put in the build. It's actually quite the opposite. I freestyle the shape of the pathing first and then work around the path for the decorations. So I end up making this larger and more wonky roundabout shape, which will house some of the foliage and the decoration. I also will note that this is the Alpine Cobble pathing from Wish Blossom Ranch, but later I will swap them for the Worn Brick Road, which is in the Lady and the Tramp Star Path. You can buy these from Scrooge and you don't have to craft them. had that batty tree, I actually replaced it with a Castle Ruins tower. I just liked the vibes that the stone gave, and it sort of made it look a little more cottagecore. Now before we start, I wanted to show you some repeat items that I will be using throughout the build, and I actually use a lot of the same few items, so we will be starting with more of those batty trees, along with some flowery bushes that are both from Wish Blossom Ranch and one from Storybook Vale, pretty much using whatever purple and pink flowers there are to match the houses. Obviously I have to use these butterfly flowers, which seem to be the closest matching flowers to the cottage. For more floral aspects, we will also use the whimsical wheelbarrow from the Garden of Whimsy Starpath. I also have this alpine fleece rug, which is in a couple spots, and a lot of peaceful meadow greenery, which is underneath the underbrush section. Now to make this feel more comforting and rustic, I have both the tramp barrel bed and Tigger's nest, and I think it helps to create a more relaxing ambiance, and some Wish Blossom items like this alpine flower cart and lamp post. The jungle butterfly fountain is actually from the Lion King collection, and it just adds a cute water feature at every nook. There is also this blooming rock garden, which is a Snow White quest item I think, but keep in mind that you only get 4 of this object, and I use all 4 of them. Now to start the build, I used the new clothesline item from the Perfect Romance Starpath, and we will just take this section by section starting from where the cottage is, using the new items I showed you plus a few additional ones. On this area, I added a carriage and a spindle, and one of these New Orleans gazebos. I know the color of the Wisteria is a bit lighter than the cottage, but I still liked how these two looked together. I combined the alpine table with some Garden of Whimsy chairs for the inside of the gazebo before moving on. On the other side, I am basically starting the pattern of just laying out the bushes together, sneaking in some butterfly flowers in between, in front of, or basically anywhere near them. Now, especially by Merida's house, I do try to keep an entrance to that rock node back there, but otherwise the whole area is just being filled with foliage. I am focusing on lining the road with foliage, packing it pretty tight around those edges, but keeping the foliage in the center to the minimum. The mossy stone fence also helps to separate the space a bit so that there is a little bit of separation. Wherever there is a barrel bed, I also like to place the alpine fleece rug underneath it just to make it feel more cozy. In this middle area, again I'm layering the foliage quite randomly, and I do use 2 new items, placing just a single dancer statue which you can get from Storybook Vale's Scrooge shop, and also this nest bed which you can craft after unlocking Pixie Acres in Wish Blossom Ranch. I think you kind of get the pattern by now as I'm decorating this bottom left side. I am really just keeping up with all of these flower bushes. It was actually quite a choice for me to include a lot of green, since the Everafter is practically just blue and purple. But I actually love the color contrast of all the greens. To me, I don't like having a biome dictate the color palette of a build, since it can really limit me creatively. So just trust yourself to try out decorations that you normally wouldn't think to use, and you might be surprised by the outcome. make the flooring less sparse, I put down some plumeria leaves found under underbrush and place a few down in each area. So this whole section is actually not using the undo method because I only just added this as I was recording the video. I already have down a small oak tree and another gazebo, so if you have the Neverland River kit, I'll add to those by making a little pond back there. I used some more medium-sized pieces in the back before using the smallest ones because we will be using the swan boats in just a second. Adding another flowery tree, it's the same old stuff using these bushes and peaceful meadow clusters. I liked even including this floral bench swing after surrounding the tree in bushes just to make it look like a cozy little corner that's part of the cottages. We will then add in our swan boats and some water lilies to fill up the pond. I add a small path leading up to the gazebo. I did forget to mention that right by that gazebo is another rock node, so everything that's on the left is giving enough space to squeeze behind there. I also put some more plumeria leaves down on the sides of the path just to jazz it up, and then you are done with the build. Thank you so much for watching the speed build and the walkthrough. I hope you enjoyed this process as much as I did. This will hopefully give you some inspiration for your ever after or just some ideas for decorating with this cottage. It's definitely a beautiful house skin and worth the purchase if you have the moonstones for it. Since I already have a good amount of the marshes built with this build, I will probably expand the rest of it in the same style in a future video, so comment down below what else you want to see done in this biome. If you liked the video, be sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye!